These are the new Feelgrounds Move athletic barefoot shoes in all black, and they're just what I've been waiting for. They definitely live up to the hype. Well, hype that I've mostly built up entirely in my own head, but I have high expectations of this brand. This makes my 8th pair of Feelgrounds, but the first athletic shoe from them as they were released this past September. Now, I was so close to buying another pair of my previous barefoot athletic shoes from Vivo Barefoot, and I'm so glad that I waited long enough to be surprised by the release of these. Alright, if you want to go straight to the review, I'll leave a chapter for you in this video. Otherwise, if you'd like a bit of backstory on my experience with the brand, I'll explain that as it gives some context to the review itself. Alright, for the backstory. I've been wearing barefoot shoes for coming up 8 years now. I have flat feet and ended up with plantar fasciitis in both feet at the same time in 2012. After that healed over the course of 4 years, I decided to transition myself into barefoot shoes in order to maintain the strength that I had built back up in my own feet. And if you want to hear more about that recovery journey, please let me know in the comments. As for barefoot shoe options, it was quite limited back then, certainly for anything casual and good looking. Jump to April of 2019 and Feelgrounds launched an Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign, which I backed and got my first pair from them. It wasn't these, but they looked very similar. They were definitely the best looking and the best feeling barefoot shoe that I had tried at that point. And if you want more about my experience with the brand over the years, from their launch to now, please let me know that as well down in the comments. Over the years, I've pretty much abused my Feelgrounds by wearing them for activities which they definitely weren't designed for, mostly athletic activities. Now, I did buy a pair of Vivo Primus Lite 2s, which were my go-to athletic shoe, but I wasn't a huge fan of them. Little things here and there bugged me. One in particular was I didn't like the touch that I had due to this touch zone when I was juggling, so I would use the casual Feelgrounds and mess them up far faster than normal. And there's a moment where I'll just let my channel partner tell you. Watch.
Oh. Literally rolled my phone, got his bottom roll. See where I rolled on the line. Felt too much ground. Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Fast forward to this year, and for the last few months, basically all summer so far, I've been putting off buying a new pair of athletic shoes because the Vivos have, well, they've seen better days. And they still seemed the best option at the time, so I nearly bought the latest version of the Primus Lites, I think the 3. I'm so glad I waited because Feelgrounds dropped these. These are Feelgrounds' first athletic barefoot shoe. I got them in all black, but I definitely have my eye on the green ones, and I'm super tempted to scoop another pair very soon. My point of comparison and the way I'll be describing these shoes will be the other Feelgrounds, of course, and my Vivo Primus Lites. In short, it's as if they combined the fit and comfort of traditional Feelgrounds with the functionality of the Vivos, and it's just what I needed. The fit is amazing. They wrap around your ankle and forefoot so snugly. It's like a really nice fitting pair of cleats or compression socks. I really don't know how else to describe it, but it's not tight where it's uncomfortable. It's just snug enough so that it doesn't feel loose when you're moving around. The heel is padded for added comfort, of course, and the toe box is as wide as you'd expect it to be, so your toes can, spread out and actually do their job. The Vivos and even some of the older versions of the casual Feelgrounds were still a bit tight around the pinky toe. Nothing compared to standard footwear, don't get me wrong, but you have perfect spacing in these moves. And the best part is they don't look silly. They definitely nailed the design of these. They don't look like you're wearing clown shoes, as a lot of people describe barefoot shoes. My main activity is weightlifting. I don't do much cardio, well, except for walking this fur ball around. So I can't speak to how they feel while running, unfortunately. In the gym, I've been mostly wearing my decommissioned Feelgrounds, too worn to be worn out in public, but just enough life left in them to lift. So the flexibility of these moves has been excellent. They're using an adhesive and a stitching combo for the sole connecting to the upper, which is going to definitely add to the durability and help with the range of motion. And speaking of range of motion, a mark of a proper barefoot shoe to me is the flexibility of your foot translating in every direction, including curving it the other way. I've been squatting and deadlifting in barefoot shoes for years now. I definitely love the full range of motion and certainly don't want or need any wedges, like personally for my training. I live for general health, strength, of course aesthetics, so proper form for me is comfort plus range. Now, I don't need these shoes specifically for leg extensions, but I just felt like showing this off because I recently made it and I'm very proud of my work. If you want to see this DIY leg extension build, I'll link that at the end of the video and in the description. And now for my final test and the other form of exercise, technically cardio. Can I freestyle in these? Yes, I certainly can. Now, I haven't juggled in a few months because it's been in the 80s and 90s and it's miserable. The 2 minutes I spent outside shooting this footage, I was already drenched and the mosquitoes were just attacking me like crazy. Now, I felt a little odd the first few days wearing these, and I couldn't quite understand why. Now, sure, the fit was different, the way it hugged your ankle and forefoot, but something about my strike was slightly different, and I couldn't make sense of it. Well, it turned out to be the inserts. These things. I was planning to remove them after a few days anyway, just for thorough testing, but I was surprised at just how much of a difference a few millimeters, 4 in fact, could make. I definitely prefer them without the inserts, the way the other Feelgrounds arrive, for working out and for short walks. But the inserts add a little bit more cushion, which definitely comes in handy for longer walks and high-impact activities. Again, I don't run, but I imagine the inserts would be pretty nice for that. One thing you might notice, and it's the only flaw that I could find, and it's quite a stretch to call it that, is if you take the inserts out and you feel around on the inside, right about here for this one, you'll feel a slight nub or like a bump. And my theory is that it's the cutoff point from the injection molding process when they made the soles. However, when you're wearing them, actually, without the inserts, you don't feel the bumps at all. At least I don't, so I wouldn't worry about it. And speaking of the soles, I was a little surprised to see that the pattern changed to one that would have, even less grip. Here's the pattern on the typical Feelgrounds, slightly deeper. It does remind me of the tread depth, actually, or lack thereof, of the Vivos, in fact, so I think it was quite an intentional design decision. My guess and hope is that the next shoe they make in this line is one with a maybe thicker sole that has deeper treads for like a trail type shoe or a trail boot even. That would be cool. In summary, Feelgrounds absolutely nailed it with their first athletic barefoot shoe, the Move. It was everything I could have hoped for from this brand. I love everything about the shoe, and the only con that I have, and it's not even the price, but the shipping hurts a little bit. I guess in order to soften the blow from shipping all the way from Germany, just buy multiple pairs like I do. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you have any questions, do drop them below. If you've gotten these for yourself, especially if my recommendation convinced you, please let me know. I'd love to hear about your experience. You can tag Boundless Flux on Insta or on TikTok if you post anything wearing these shoes, especially working out or freestyling. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.